AIS Play ความบันเทิงระดับโลกทุกที่ทุกเวลา
ส่งต่อความมั่นใจสู้ไปด้วยกันนะครับ
And now, the national anthem of Indonesia.
Women's football is very much in its infancy in both Indonesia and the Maldives, and you could see the emotion of the occasion actually getting to some of the Indonesian players in particular there in tears before kick-off. And so we're not quite sure what to expect here. Maldives competed 4 years ago in Incheon. We'll have a look at the team lineups to begin with, starting with Indonesia here now. Norfins Boma, the goalkeeper, is 23 years of age and the tallest player in the team at 5 feet 6 inches tall. At number 11 is only 17, Zakra Muzdalifa. 11 players named, 9 substitutes. And here are the Indonesian substitutes, who range from a 33-year-old, Tugiyati, to a 16-year-old defender, Gisela Sari. Indonesia will be in the all-red today. And here is their opposition from Maldives. It's a proud moment for the team they call the Daughters of the Waves. How wonderful is that? Well, they look calmer and happier about the occasion of just being here in Indonesia. Our referee comes from Malaysia. She is experienced. I've seen her in tournaments around the world. Tain Tain Ai. Assisted by fellow officials from Myanmar and Bhutan. Now a look at the way the Maldives side has been selected with their goalkeeper, 31 years of age, Eliza Aminath. And a 16-year-old in the lineup as well today, but starting on the bench in Mariam Nishafed. There she is, number 12, Mariam Nishafed. So still a great experience for these ladies to be competing in such a prestigious event as the Asian Games. And they're very excited, along with their coaching staff, led by Papak Yunisal. The Maldives coach is Muena Mohammed, but she is keeping her spot on the touchline. Big occasion for them. Korea Republic already off with a victory earlier today. And that is the Indonesian coach, Watna. Satya Bagda Watna is the senior coach of Indonesia. And Mohammed Atif, the coach for Maldives. So we're just about ready for the off here. Indonesia versus Maldives. Interesting that both sides have male coaches. But, let's see what it's like in terms of the standard here between Indonesia and Maldives. Indonesia would certainly hope to register a rare victory for them. They have won matches in the past. Their biggest win ever was against Nepal by 8-0 back in 1989. And you can always hear the shouting that goes on between the players here. Not a big crowd following, unlike the Indonesian male matches. And there is Kartini, leaving it for Sada. Indonesia would expect to monopolise the early phases of this game, and the ball just kept in by Kartini. Ample opportunities to cross were in. The grass a little bit threadbare on the pitch here. Not one of the biggest stadiums, but the defender who did a good job there was Mariam. Has to take the near post. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 defenders plus the goalkeeper in the 18-yard area. Not the worst corner, but it comes back the same way. Indonesia dominating the ball in the early phases, but then Maldives getting the opportunity to move clear with Mariam. Should be picked up here by Septiawati. Septiawati, one of the older players in the lineup, at 24 years of age. Sada. Well, just steered into the stands there by the defender Ibrahim Didi, who really is one of the most experienced players out there at the age of 33. I know it's not nice to give away ladies' ages, but as we're provided with all this information, we need all we can get. I have to tell you that. Indonesia dominating the first phases of the play, and a rather weak clearance there lands at the boot of Mulyasari. And back here with Novriliani. Sounds almost Italian. Novriliani, header, and well saved, Aminath. Able to come off her line and on the edge of the 6-yard area, take a clean catch. Always good for goalkeepers' confidence to catch the ball early. She won't reach the halfway with the kick. Maldives must try and retain possession for as long as they can before they try and hit anybody up front. 3 minutes played, 0-0. The Indonesian men have been well supported in their own country, as you would expect. Here's a good run. Here's the first opportunity of the match for Indonesia, but it's a dribbling sort of an effort coming in from Mayang Zaipi. Looks as though she's got some ability and goes on there, but can't get any real purchase into the effort. And again, it's Indonesia asking all of the questions. And you feel that, oh, it's a risky sort of a challenge there, but the referee had a good view and saw nothing untoward. Yeah, I think it was a good decision as well. There was no real contact made with Fadwa Zahir. Free kick goes the way of Indonesia. And I don't think that Maldives have managed to get into the Indonesian half yet. That could be the pattern of the game. Let's see what happens with this one. Plenty in the red of Indonesia up around the edge of the Maldives penalty area. All depends on the short delivery, and then to see if they can get a cross ball through. Neat little touches, but it still comes back here to Mulyasari. Twice involved, along with Novrilani. And Maldives sort of tiptoeing towards the edge of the centre circle and awarded a free kick, so now surely they will get the ball up in the opposition half. 5 minutes played, Indonesia 0, Maldives 0. Certain very prominent names in the Maldives lineup. There are 3 Aminats for starters. Lisa in goal, Shamila, number 10, and number 15, Zahir. And they will stick to their task well. Really monopolising the possession, perhaps as they expected, Indonesia, but now Maldives are up towards the halfway line. Still they can't get it up into the opposition half. That is their downfall at the moment, and conceding free kicks for the latest challenge on Mulyasari. A quickly taken one as well. And this might even yield a corner, although she might get the ball in play, and that's not bad. Oh, palmed down by the goalkeeper. All depends where it falls. It might yet come to somebody in the red of Indonesia. I've seen some goalkeeping frailty in the men's competition so far. Anyway, the goalkeeper did okay there. She managed to get rid of the ball, which is the first requisite. It is now cleared up into the Indonesian half, and it's going to stay there for about, 3 seconds. Then back it comes the familiar way. At the boot of Septiawati. Nice build-up from Indonesia. They need the first goal. That will really settle the home team down and give the locals something to cheer if Indonesia can register first. The ball in here could get between the 2 defenders. It does. Shooting chance again on the right foot, on the left. Just wide from the left boot of Judith Sada. Judith Elina Sada. She wears the name Elina on the back of her shirt. It just bounced awkwardly there over the top of Eshath. And she hooked the shot wide with the left boot. Elina. Another of they're allowed, of course, any age in the women's competition, unlike the men's, which is an under-23 event. Into the wide position for Safira Kartini. Well, the idea was nice there, the lofted ball, trying to chip it over the top of the last line of Maldives' defence. The execution didn't quite match the ambition. But it is all about the home team, Indonesia, and they're going to win a corner kick for themselves here. The defender who was happy with the homework there was Mahin Eshath. And there are two Eshaths in the starting lineup for Maldives as well. Where's this one going to drop? It drops for Maldives. They've got a chance really to apply a bit of pressure here. Interception made. Unable to get the ball through to Taufik. Only because of the diligence of Septiawati. Well, the throw-in was not of the required standards as far as the referee is concerned. Referee from Myanmar. That was nicely dealt with. And then a rather unfortunate ricochet there. Puts Maldives under all sorts of pressure. And they'll be under even more here now. The opportunity really exists for Indonesia to get the first goal here with the cross. They'll certainly get another corner kick. That's a couple they've had now. Hard work already for that Maldives defence, organised by Fadwa Zahir, their captain. Into the right sort of area. Here's the header, and here is the first goal. It's exactly what Indonesia wanted. Well, it's a remarkable statistic, you know, that in women's football there are more headed goals than there are in men's football. And we've just seen an absolutely super header here from Muzdalifa. Zara Muzdalifa makes it Indonesia 1, Maldives 0. And it is a cracking header at any level of competition. Far too good for goalkeeper Aminat. Right over the top of the keeper's head into the centre of the goal. And it's Indonesia with a perfect start who lead by a goal to 0. 10 minutes gone, 1-0. 17-year-old, 5 feet 4 inches, but she really soared into that one. Let's see how Maldives react. Well, they gained a lot of experience 4 years ago. Let's put it that way in Incheon in the Asian Games there when they played in 3 matches, and now they are through and they have a chance as well if she's strong enough and quick enough to get there. But the back pass will be rather frustrating from the aspect of Murfat Mariam, who couldn't latch on to the ball. Yes, 4 years ago they lost all 3 matches, rather emphatically it has to be said. 15-0 to India, 10-0 to Thailand, 13-0 to Korea. So 1-0 after 11.5 minutes is not too bad for Maldives. Indonesia's throw taken by Kartini. They've just got to be patient in their build-up and try and find the players in the channels. Tickled away off the boot of Yudhisada. Alitha. Well, the Indonesian passing is not too bad at the moment. Clearly better on technique than Maldives, as you would expect. But it's making that technique count. All tied it up in the midfield, and then going forward is Zahir, the captain. But the possession is lost again, and it encourages Indonesia on Having got that early goal, they'll look to get a second as quickly as possible, just to stretch the advantage. Coming back here is Tufiani. Now Cartini. Oh, lovely piercing pass, but the next one isn't quite of the same quality from Mulyasari. Ball conceded. Chance for the red shirts to plunder another one here. They're all moving forward in unison as well. And it somehow gets her and she'll drill on, and that might be a penalty kick. It is. The referee has no hesitation in pointing to the spot here. The defender stays face down into the turf, but the girl who got the goal, Zara Muzdalifa, has now won a penalty kick as well. And this is how she won it. A rather rash couple of challenges, and it was the second of those from Zahia Aminat, which induced the referee to point to the spot, and Indonesia have a chance of a second goal. She scored one, and she's now won a penalty as well. And what's even worse is that Aminat has hurt herself in the process of conceding the spot kick. Well, there's a thumbs up. I think that was to the physio rather than the opponent there. So Indonesia have got a wonderful chance here to establish total superiority early. And already discussion going on the Maldives bench about what they might have to do. So this is adding insult to injury, really. Or injury to insult. Penalty conceded. And off she goes. As the player who steps up to the mark is Mayang. Mayang ZP. And goalkeeper Lisa Aminat hoping she can keep this one out and keep the score down to 1. Just 15 minutes on the clock. It'll be right-footed, and it will be successful. Smashed high, and that's the way she celebrates. It's 2-0 already, and it's looking ominous once again for Maldives. The applause is led by the coach on the touchline, Satya Badja Ijatna. And Mayang ZP, or ZP Mayang, however you like to say it, has made it 2-0 in the 15th minute. Smashed high beyond the goalkeeper, who had absolutely no hope. She went to the right, the ball went the other way. And the Indonesian dream start just continues. And there could have been no argument about the awarding of the penalty kick. 2-0 it is. It means that Maldives in 4 matches that they've played in the Asian Games have now conceded 40 goals. Well, it's 3 matches in a few minutes. And for the second time in 2 minutes, we have a Maldives player needing assistance. The referee a calming influence at the moment. It looks a bit of a threadbare field. Zara was the one who got the first goal. Many of the players do like to wear their first names on their shirts, and Zara is one of them. But it's the surname that figures on the score sheet. The same for Mayang. Well, that's the first one. Seen from a different angle. A lovely headed goal. Delightfully taken by Zara Muzdalifa. And here comes number 2. You don't keep those out. Almost dead centre. Dead eye. But it's the front runners of Indonesia who are posing the problems as expected for Maldives. Just a player down at the moment. The injured player is Farouz Zahir, the captain. And all sort of awkward looking throw in, and they're under pressure once again here as it's taken along by Helena Sada. Oh, good ball in to pierce the back line. A nice cross, and Maldives will be in a spot of bother again, but it is cleared on this occasion by Ibrahim Didi. Ibrahim Didi, one of the most experienced of the Maldives players. She was around 4 years ago in Incheon, as many of this team were. So let's hope they've picked up a bit of experience since then. There'll be a long-range try, and that's not a bad ploy, really. It's gone too high this time from Rani Mulyasari. And Zahir is allowed back onto the field of play. They need the captain. It's all been a bit too easy for Indonesia so far. And you feel a bit for those front runners for Maldives. Rifa Mariam and Shamila Aminat have had no chances to shine whatsoever as yet. And it will be Indonesia, as we move towards 20 minutes played, who head towards the opposition goal again. She's got too much in the armoury for those in the blue. And they win possession when they shouldn't really be allowed to do so. As I said, football's still very much in its infancy in both these countries. Here's a good driving run. It's worth the chase. Oh, she might be getting in as well. And it was close to an own goal there, as Mayang threaded her way in. Almost 3-0. Second favourite, you thought, but she managed to get a touch on it, and then it's turned out for the corner. There, off the head of the defender. And here comes that corner kick. Keeper might have got a touch on it. Still ends up with Indonesia having the opportunity to cross a ball in, and the keeper, oh, she was in real trouble, and it looked for all the world as though Zara was going to get a second. Just missed out. It would have been 2 headed goals for her. Nice work out on the right-hand touchline by Helena Sada. Could have scored herself, and just the proximity of the player to the upright, I think, made it awkward there. Confirmation of the 2-0 scoreline. We've had 20 minutes. In fact, we're halfway through the opening half. And the game going very much Indonesia's way. Their men would be thinking, if only it had for us. They suffered a 2-1 defeat last evening against Palestine in a good game. Steered out by Ibrahim Didi. Number 2 just prefers to wear the name Ika as opposed to surname Kartini. And even when they work the ball away, somehow there just seem to be enough players in the red of Indonesia to mop things up and start proceedings again from inside their own half, as they do here now with Vivi Rizky. And the opportunities to score further goals will present themselves, I'm sure. Wasn't the best of clearances. This is a better one. Indonesia technically much better on the ball. And they win a throw-in off the boot of Shahula Tawfiq. But it has been the front players of Indonesia who've caught the eye already. Helena Sada, Mayang Zepi and Zara Muzdalifa, all prominent in this opening 22 minutes. Along with this player wearing number 2, She's got some poise and gives the opportunity for another dangerous cross ball in, and the keeper can't do much about it. Another chance for Mayang. A lot of hustling going on in there. And the referee will halt proceedings again because the defender is in a spot of bother. This is Zahir Aminat clutching the ankle. Let's have a look what happened. The opportunity is here for Alina Sada to cross one in. The keeper knocks it down. Everybody appears to be okay at that moment. And that's where the contact occurred. It's very difficult to Maldives. They don't get too many fixtures during the course of the year. They've never entered either the World Cup nor the Asian Cup. But here they are playing in the Asian Games with a bit of treatment required for Eshath. A FIFA official, as you can see from the badge proudly worn on the referee's kit. And still, I can't recollect mentioning the goalkeeper, Nofins Boma of Indonesia at all. I don't think she has actually touched the ball yet. Indonesia's throw in. But it's bound to get stronger in both countries, as long as they keep on playing, as long as they can get enough contests to improve. That's the only way you do get better, is by playing matches. A lot of the good work from Indonesia has come down this right touchline between Ika Kartini and Alina Sada. And this is where they will concentrate their next move again. Even little ricochets seem to favour Indonesia, like that one there. Well blocked. Now then, let's see if they can do anything as a forward unit. A bludgeoning run. And then a crossfield ball, and it's a good one as well. There's an opportunity here. She's just going to be run out of it as Mariam. And away goes Ika Kartini again. Good movement off the ball from Mayang. Here she goes, still in the possession. She seemed to have had the ball for about 5 seconds. The ball in was dangerous as well and might just be kept in play. Will that be a goal kick or a corner kick? And the referee's decision is for a corner. So far so good for Indonesia. The usual struggle for Maldives. But they keep plugging away, trying to improve on every aspect of their game. And they've conceded just the twice in the 27 minutes close on that we've had. And the defence holds firm this time. Nobody to pass the ball to. That was the big problem there. Looked as though it could have been a handball. The referee agreed with that assessment. But she's recovered after the knock as Samat Eshath. Yeah, just stretched the arm out. And the ball smacked into the wrist. So as things stand, the Maldives are on course for their best ever result in the Asian Games. But even sterner tests to come when they come up against the more experienced opponents, the likes of course, China and Japan have always been a strong career. The two career DP are the holders of this title. They won the final 3-1 against Japan in Incheon 4 years ago. The referee says no foul there, so once again they're in the opposition half, but not for very long. It's all broken up by Vivirisky. That's a bounce of the ball, important here. And she's touched the ball. First time for goalkeeper Norfin's Boma. First touch of the ball in the 29th minute. Who'd be a goalkeeper? Ika Katini. Very good strong run again. Well, she can't thread the ball to a colleague this time. It stays in. Picked up by Vivirisky. And then setting things off in motion from the centre of midfield is Maulina Novrilinia. She's somehow managed to get her in on the act here. The number 7, Helena Sada, has played a crucial role in this 2-0 scoreline. A nice little bit of skill there, and a good run forward with the ball as well from Shamila Aminat, and still she goes on. She'll be exhausted, and she might get a free kick for this. Now the referee says it's shoulder to shoulder, and she has to pick herself up after doing all the hard work. Has to get back and help the defence, which is not exactly beleaguered. The goalkeeper hasn't had to make too many saves. That's a useful pass. That is a good pass. Oh, lovely skill. Not once, but twice, but 3 times. She is the big difference at the moment. Kept out by the keeper. It must be 3. It's a simple knock-in for Lina Sada. It's 3-0 now for Indonesia, but all the hard work and all the skill was down to Zara Muzdalifa. Lovely play from her. She just skipped past all the challenges, and you have to say Alina Sada could not miss. Enjoyed her 35th birthday recently, and this is a nice one to tell everybody about. But look at the skill factor here, taking on virtually the entire Maldives defence, foiled herself by the goalkeeper. Anybody would want to take a chance as good as this one, and Alina took it from about, what, 3 yards? 2.5. It's 3-0 to Indonesia. And you could imagine there should be more goals to come. 3-0 right on the half-hour mark as well. And the goals nicely spread around. 10th minute, 15th minute, 30th minute. So the best spell that the Maldives have enjoyed have been over the last 15 minutes before that breakthrough. But it was delightfully created. And they'll pour forward in numbers again now. Enough blue shirts around to cope, but then they just can't weave the ball through to any of their own. And Helena picks it up. Break for her again. It's the old adage of there seem to be more red shirts than blue at the minute. And I think that's rather optimistic. And the Maldives defence only too happy to see that one run dead. Well, Alina's one of the most experienced of the Indonesian players, and it's a great opportunity for her playing in a tournament as prestigious as the Asian Games. Indonesia played their first game of women's football way back in 1977. 41 years ago. They got beaten, but only 5-0 by China, which was very respectful. Their world ranking at the moment is 77th. But that's the player who's really caught the eye so far. For me, number 11, Zara Muzdalifa. She scored with a cracking header for the opening goal on 10 minutes. She won the penalty, and then it was her shot beaten away by the goalkeeper that enabled a third goal to go from the boot of Helena Sada. Free kick Maldives, taken by Zaya Aminat. Maldives would be happy to keep it down to 3. If they can restrict Indonesia to 3 goals in this first half, they'll be happy. Well, they often win the second ball, but on that occasion, Mayang couldn't do. So there is a breakout led by Shamila Aminat. Must be a goalkeeper's ball from the back post. She'd welcome that. Just an observer until now. The ball lofted from right to left. Moved forward by Tiadati Septiawati. And they go through the middle this time with Novril Liani. Mixing it up nicely here. Clever little back heel, but it won't quite land into the path of Ika Katini. Resourcefulness, though, from the right fullback. Taking up intelligent positions. And when they've spread the play onto the flanks, that's where Indonesia really have profited. The wide players are the ones who've caused disconcerting problems for Maldives. Good little touches around the edge of the zone and a nice ball in here. This could be number 4. Well, the keeper's done well. The keeper's come and spread herself, and it ultimately meant that Rani Mulyasari couldn't get the shot in that she wanted on the target. Miang heavily involved. There goes Miang. She couldn't get the shot through herself. And the final effort was wayward from Mulyasari. Well, it's all about progress and getting better with each performance. Indonesia will come up against Chinese Taipei on Sunday. Maldives will play Korea Republic, and that really could be a very difficult day for them. Those matches on Sunday, as I say. And here we are on a Thursday evening. It's just gone 7 o'clock in the evening. Ika with the throw. Ample time for Maldives to play it out from the back, as Fadwa Zahir did. But they mustn't give the ball away as frequently and as easily as they do there. This is where they have the problems with the angles being run. On the outside, on the inside, still in the possession. Slips the ball right. Chances here for a 4th Indonesian goal, but it's a weak attempted pass this time from Helena Sada. Now they've kept their shape. And they still look capable of adding to these 3 goals before the whistle brings a halt to proceedings for the interval. This is when Maldives do okay, when they bring the ball out like this. It's then getting that final pass through, and this one can't beat Vivi Rizky. Player available on the left touchline, but the pass is a little wayward. Septiwati. Well, getting close to half-time. Indonesia have a strong position on which to build. And the red shirts are ganging up again. I'm sure they'd love to get a 4th goal before that break. Oh, skillful play. I think the offside whistle is going to go, though. The offside flag. Yeah, just offside, as you can see from our camera angle there. Helena got the third goal. All the interested observers enjoying a rare afternoon of international football in Galore, Sriwijaya. And I think Maldives in particular will welcome the half-time whistle. Nice to see two teams playing in the traditional red and blue. Indonesia certainly enjoying the scoreline. It may get even better for them yet. I think the keeper might come for this. The ball just knocked a little hard by Helena Sada. And goalkeeper Lisa Aminat. 31. 5'5", the tallest of the squad, along with one of the substitute defenders, Zahira Fatimat. Well, they don't want a further concession before the break. But all the good possession is with Indonesia at the moment. Yeah, she's managed to keep the ball in play and a strong run to win a corner kick. And a strong finish to the half as well from the Indonesians. In fact, the last touch was off her, so well defended. Very well defended by Mahin Ishath. Cramp is a constant problem. They're not used to some of the bigger pitches, of course, these ladies. And they've got a lot of running around to do. What a super skipping run this was to set up the third goal. She deserved the reward herself, but, well, put on a plate, I think, is the common expression we use in these circumstances. And there to say thank you very much was Helena Sada. So she's enjoyed this opening. She's been among the goals as well with a penalty kick. And the Koreans taking the opportunity of watching this fixture. They did their business a little earlier in the day with a victory. Korea defeating Chinese Taipei. So Muzdalifa, Zadbi and Sada, the names, but they're better known as Zara, Mayang and Helena. It's beginning to look as the Maldives will manage to get through the rest of the half unscathed. Not long to go now. Free kick awarded for Rani. Sort of dragged down by the one and falling on top of the other. Well, 3-0 is emphatic enough. 4-0 would certainly take the game beyond Maldives for the second half. I think the suggestion is it's already beyond them, but we shall see. So lofted into danger here, round about the penalty spot, comfortably away. And then sort of hoiked back in, and if this goes out, it will be for a corner kick. So there is still relentless pressure increasing on the Maldives goal before half-time. The ball flying away off Zaya Aminat. But they'll all welcome a breather. Indonesia's corner kick. They're hoping for a little joy to follow. Have to make sure they don't go offside here. So they're playing some skillful football to try and create a space. And into that space, Well, Zara was going in there, but the flag had been raised. I'm not quite sure. I don't think it was her who was offside. It might have been somebody else. When we get another look from here. Well, that's where the flag went up. Interesting one. Two minutes left in the first half. In some women's competitions, they only play 40 minutes. In some, they play 45. And this is one of them. Just like the men. She's onside here, and she has the pace to take on the opponent and get through into the penalty area. Manages to retain her footing as well. Lovely skill once more. Can't get the cross through this time, though. And to be fair to Maldives, they managed to get 3 players around the attacker. But again, there's nobody to pass the ball to. But the number 11 here has been exceptionally good. She's one of the taller players at 5 feet 4 inches tall. Sara Muzdalifa, but she's only 17 and she has a very bright future as a footballer. She's had a great half. Lucky actually not to get an injury there, as the boot of the opponent came quite high. But she's posed problems with her close range skills all afternoon and early evening. Yeah, 2 shots on goal. One was a header which went into the net, and the other was an effort that poured out for somebody else to take the glory. Now, plenty of notes to be taken on a day like today. Well, there will be 3 added minutes. So they'll have gone through 48 minutes by the time they come off and go to the dressing rooms. And by my reckoning, that's the 3rd time that Nofin Subomar has touched the ball, the goalkeeper of Indonesia. She'll be happy enough so long as they win. That's nice, that's good play. Onside this time. To check back inside where she might have got on the outside there, Helena Sada. Now she is on the outside. And just has the time and the opportunity to cross the ball in. Coming up towards the end of the first of those 3 added minutes. And certainly the link-up play down the right side between Ika and Helena has been impressive. The individual skill of Zara down the left-hand side even more impressive. But Maldives will be relatively pleased, I think, not to have conceded more than 3 times. Well played, Ina. Free kick here for Indonesia. It's been a very clean game, though. Foul was committed by Mahin Eshaf. Tackle their own player as well. Ndika is still feeling the ankle. She's not getting up either. Well, studying concentration, the goalkeeper may have more work to do even yet with a minute of added time to go. But although that ball splits the defence, it's going to run out harmlessly. And that could be the end of the first half action here in Galore. So Mohamed Atif, the coach of Maldives, has got to be a genius if he can conjure up a victory from this one. I wish I could hear his words in the dressing room at half-time. But for opposite number, Satya Bagda, Ijatna. Well, it's looking pretty good for Indonesia. You are ending the half with the ball at their feet. 3 goals to the good. I think they've left it too late to try and make that 4. Well, they deserve a break. They've all tried hard. One team massively better than the other, well on top as the referee points the way to the tunnel. She got the first goal, Zara Muzdalifa, with an emphatic header. She also set up the second by winning the spot kick, which was dispatched by Mayang. And she also made the third with a shot which the keeper could only palm out to Helena Sada. It's going very well for Indonesia and their supporters here. Hard work for the Maldives, and it looks like hard work as well, doesn't it? So at the interval, it's the Indonesians who are the happier of the two sides because they lead this contest by a very emphatic 3-0.
ลูกชายชื่อสักกลินจ้า
ไอ้สัก
สักกลิน
รีบหน่อยนะน้องที่สายแล้ว
ไม่มีคำว่าสาย ถ้าวันตายยังมาไม่ถึง
ถึงโค้งก็ต้องแซงเพราะความแรงคือตัวตน
มันใช่เวลาคิดคำคมใหม่อะ
ไม่ได้คิดแต่มันติดอยู่ใน DNA
กูไม่เอาแล้วเว้ย
ไม่มีคำว่าไม่ในพจนานุกรมของคนจริง
ไฟแมนสักกรินตูดหมึก
รถไฟไอ้สักเบรกแม่บอกให้เบรก
20 กันยายนนี้ทุกโรงภาพยนตร์
ใกล้เข้ามาทุกทีแล้วนะครับกับมหกรรมกีฬาที่ยิ่งใหญ่ที่สุดในเอเชียกับเอเชียนเกมครั้งที่ 18 ครับคนไทยทุกคนอย่าลืมส่งกำลังใจไปเชียร์ทัพนักกีฬาไทยด้วยนะครับสำหรับเอเชียนเกมครั้งนี้ครับจะเกิดขึ้นที่กรุงจาการ์ตานะครับที่ปาเลมบังประเทศอินโดนีเซียครับชมการแข่งขันถ่ายทอดสดที่ช่อง Workpoint นะครับไทยเชียร์ไทยเอเชียนเกม 2018 เริ่ม 14 สิงหาคมนี้ถ่ายทอดสดทางช่อง Workpoint
แฟนพันธุ์แท้ 2018 กับการแข่งขันด้วยพลังแห่งศรัทธา
ศิษยานุศิษย์หลวงปู่มั่นภูริทัตโต พระรูปเดียวที่หลวงปู่มั่นเคยเป็นพระอุปชาให้ จะไปเป็นเพื่อนเขาไหมยังนะเรามีรูปมาให้ดูครับฉายาทางธรรมอะไรเป็นคำตอบเช่
ใครที่จะเป็นสุดยอดแฟนพันธุ์แท้
ถูกต้องนะครับ
ศุกร์นี้3 ทุ่มตรงห้ามพลาดจะเกิดอะไรขึ้นเมื่อฮีโร่ขวัญใจคนไทยมาปะทะนักร้องหนุ่มขวัญใจวัยรุ่น
โหขี้เหนียวเอาวางลงพอให้เขาช่วยกัน
ตรงนี้ดูเหมือนคู่รักเข้ามาทำ
ตั้งกระทะพร้อมกันวันเสาร์ที่ 18 สิงหาคมเที่ยงครึ่งทางช่อง WorkPoint นะจ๊ะ
โดนมือขาวไอ้นี่ก็ซูมซะไม่ได้ดูอะไรเลย
เรามีมหกรรมกีฬานะครับระดับเอเชียเลยก็คือเอเชียนเกมครั้งที่ 18 นะครับที่จัดขึ้นที่ประเทศอินโดนีเซียนะครับอย่าลืมส่งกำลังใจครับไทยเชียร์ไทยครับเชียร์ทัพนักกีฬาไทยของเรานะครับในทุกๆประเภทเลยและที่สำคัญนะครับคุณสามารถรับชมการถ่ายทอดสดได้ครับกฎหมายเลข 23 ช่อง WorkPoint นอกจากนั้นยังไม่พอนะครับทุกๆช่องทางออนไลน์ของ WorkPoint นะครับก็จะถ่ายทอดสดเช่นกันนะครับติดตาม
เอเชียนเกม 2018 เริ่ม 14 สิงหาคมนี้
นักดนตรีฟ้าประธานนักร้องเสียงสวรรค์ซุปเปอร์เทนเสาร์นี้บ่าย 3:15 นาทีทางช่อง WorkPoint
ตลก6ฉากเสาร์นี้คุณปลอมโอ้โหพูดจาแบบนี้ลุกเลยดีกว่าคุณกล้าลองตรงนี้ปะล่ะลองตรงนี้เลยไหมล่ะเอาก็ได้มีความสามารถพิเศษไหม
ทำเสียงกบได้
ลองดูสิเฮ้ยผมนึกภาพเลยเนี่ย
ชอบผู้หญิงแบบอินเทรนด์อะแล้วเธอเป็นคนอินเทรนด์เหมือนกันไม่อินเทรนด์ธรรมดานำเทรนด์
มาแล้วค่ะ
มาแล้วอุ้ย 4G ก่อน
ดูก่อนใครในโลกเสาร์นี้ 11:30 น.
มาถึงแล้วนะครับเดือนสิงหาคมนี้คุณห้ามไปไหนนะครับใช้ชีวิตแบบมีความสุขแบบกองเชียร์นั่นเอเชียนเกมนะครับเปิดแบบยิ่งใหญ่มากนะครับแล้วก็ WorkPoint เนี่ยนะครับถ่ายทอดด้วยนะครับไทยเชียร์ไทยทัพนักกีฬาไทยของเราต้องได้เหรียญทองเยอะที่สุด
เอเชียนเกม 2018 เริ่ม 14 สิงหาคมนี้ถ่ายทอดสดทางช่อง WorkPoint
นักดนตรีฟ้าประธานนักร้องเสียงสวรรค์ซุปเปอร์เทนเสาร์นี้บ่าย 3:15 นาทีทางช่อง WorkPoint
ตลก6ฉากเสาร์นี้คุณปลอมโอ้โหพูดจาแบบนี้ลุกเลยดีกว่าคุณกล้าลองตรงนี้ปะล่ะลองตรงนี้เลยไหมล่ะเอาก็ได้มีความสามารถพิเศษไหม
ทำเสียงกบได้
ลองดูสิเฮ้ยผมนึกภาพเลยเนี่ย
ชอบผู้หญิงแบบอินเทรนด์อะแล้วเธอเป็นคนอินเทรนด์เหมือนกันไม่อินเทรนด์ธรรมดานำเทรนด์
มาแล้วค่ะ
มาแล้วอุ้ย 4G ก่อน
ดูก่อนใครในโลกเสาร์นี้ 11:30 น.
ฝาแลบเด็กสัปดาห์นี้พบกับเด็กป่วนที่มีความรัก
บอกเขาเลยว่าเรารู้สึกไงกับเขารู้สึกไปกินก่อนเลยรักไหม
น้องพันทำไมมีไฟเล็กจัง
ไปกินในฟ้าแลบเด็กทุกวันเสาร์อาทิตย์ 10 โมงตรงหวานจนมดขึ้นแน่นอนไมค์ทองคำเด็กสัปดาห์นี้กับเรื่องจริงของชีวิตที่ยากจะทำใจได้
แล้วทำไมถึงอยากมารายการไมค์ทองคำเด็กลูก
เพราะว่าอยากให้พ่อได้เห็นหนูร้องเพลงเพราะว่าคุณพ่อไม่เคยได้ยินหนูร้องเพลงเลยค่ะ
อ้าวแล้วคุณพ่อไม่ได้อยู่กับหนูเหรอลูก
ค่ะ
คุณพ่ออยู่ที่ไหนคะ
ติดคุกค่ะ
นี่มีความรู้สึกยังไงอยากจะบอกกับน้องจ๊ะจ๋าบ้างครับ
คิดว่าการพ่ออยู่เนี่ยจะเป็นปมด้อยในชีวิตเขาอะไรเงี้ยแต่วันนี้เขาก็แสดงให้เห็นนะฮะว่าเขาสามารถใช้ชีวิตอย่างที่ว่าพ่อหวังให้เขาเป็นอยู่ครับ
ที่บอกเขาเองกันดีกว่า
จ้ะเก่งมากลูกเก่งมากเลยโอยเหนือ
เสาร์อาทิตย์ 20:05 นาทีห้ามพลาด
คีย์เวิร์ดที่สำคัญเลยเราต้องบอกเขาว่าเราเป็นคนไทยเรามาโชว์หน้าหน่อยว่าเราไทยจริงๆ
คือจะไปขอดูห้องอื่นก็ไม่ได้นะนี่เราต้องมาดูห้องทีมงานนะนี่ครับพอเรามองขึ้นไปครับคุณผู้ชมครับตัดภาพไปเดี๋ยวเราพากให้ดูมองลงมาที่หว่างขาผมใช่ใช่เลยที่ตรงนี้เลย
อันนี้ของเลค่ะพับพเดเล่
อายุน้อยร้อยล้าน The Failure Story พบกับตำนานร้านกาแฟในปั๊มน้ำมันที่เคยมีสาขามากที่สุดเป็นอันดับ 2 ของไทยแต่ต้องพบกับวิกฤตครั้งใหญ่ทำให้ร้านกาแฟกว่า113 สาขาถูกปิดตัวลงเหลือ1 สาขา
มีไม่กี่คนเกิดมาแล้วเป็นตำนานเราอาจจะเป็นว่าวตัวเก่งที่จะขึ้นสูงหรือจะตกลงมามันก็มีทั้งโอกาสที่เราหยิบฉวยมาได้ทันหรือการมองโอกาสที่ผิดพลาดไป
เสาร์ที่18 สิงหาคม 9 โมงเช้า
ตั๊กตอนจบในละครเขาเรียกจบอะไร
ตั๊กอวสานอะไรอ่ะ
พบกับรายการคนอวดผีนะครับพบกับคุณกิตศรีมุมเศษคุณป๋องกบลทองพับและคุณตั๊กอวสานครับ
วันอาทิตย์บ่ายโมงครึ่งแล้วเจอกันนะจ๊ะ
ลูกชายชื่อสักกลินจ้า
ไอ้สัก
สักกลิน
รีบหน่อยนะน้องพี่สายแล้ว
ไม่มีคำว่าสายถ้าวันตายยังมาไม่ถึง
ถึงโค้งก็ต้องแซงเพราะความแรงคือตัวตน
มันใช่เวลาคิดคำคมใหม่อะ
ไม่ได้คิดแต่มันติดอยู่ใน DNA
กูไม่เอาแล้วเว้ย
ไม่มีคำว่าไม่ในพจนานุกรมของคนจริง
ไบแมนสักกรินตูดหมึก
รถไฟไอ้สักเด็กแม่มองไม่แม่
20 กันยายนนี้ทุกโรงภาพยนตร์
ใกล้เข้ามาทุกทีแล้วนะครับกับมหกรรมกีฬาที่ยิ่งใหญ่ที่สุดในเอเชียกับเอเชียนเกมครั้งที่ 18 ครับคนไทยทุกคนอย่าลืมส่งกำลังใจไปเชียร์ทัพนักกีฬาไทยด้วยนะครับสำหรับเอเชียนเกมครั้งนี้ครับจะเกิดขึ้นที่กรุงจาการ์ตานะครับที่ปาเลมบังประเทศอินโดนีเซียครับชมการแข่งขันถ่ายทอดสดที่ช่อง Workpoint นะครับไทยเชียร์ไทย
เอเชียนเกม 2018 เริ่ม 14 สิงหาคมนี้ถ่ายทอดสดทางช่อง Workpoint แฟนพันธุ์แท้ 2018 กับการแข่งขันด้วยพลังแห่งศรัทธา
ศิษยานุศิษย์หลวงปู่มั่นภูริทัตโตพระรูปเดียวที่หลวงปู่มั่นเคยเป็นพระอุปชาให้ จะไปเป็นเพื่อนเขาไหมยังนะเรามีรูปมาให้ดูครับฉายาทางธรรมอะไรเป็นคำตอบเช่
ใครที่จะเป็นสุดยอดแฟนพันธุ์แท้
ถูกต้องแล้วครับ
ศุกร์นี้3 ทุ่มตรงห้ามพลาดจะเกิดอะไรขึ้นเมื่อฮีโร่ขวัญใจคนไทยมาปะทะนักร้องหนุ่มขวัญใจวัยรุ่น
โหขี้เหนียวเอาวางลงพอให้เราช่วยกัน
ตรงนี้ดูเหมือนคู่รักเข้ามาทำ
ตั้งกระทะพร้อมกันวันเสาร์ที่ 18 สิงหาคมเที่ยงครึ่งทางช่อง Workpoint นะจ๊ะ
โดนมือขาวไอ้นี่ก็ซูมซะไม่ได้ดูอะไรเลย
เรามีมหกรรมกีฬานะครับระดับเอเชียเลยก็คือเอเชียนเกมครั้งที่ 18 นะครับที่จัดขึ้นที่ประเทศอินโดนีเซียนะครับอย่าลืมส่งกำลังใจครับไทยเชียร์ไทยครับเชียร์ทัพนักกีฬาไทยของเรานะครับในทุกๆประเภทเลยและที่สำคัญนะครับคุณสามารถรับชมการถ่ายทอดสดได้ครับกฎหมายเลข 23 ช่อง Workpoint นอกจากนั้นยังไม่พอนะครับทุกๆช่องทางออนไลน์ของ Workpoint นะครับก็จะถ่ายทอดสดเช่นกันนะครับติดตาม
เอเชียนเกม 2018 เริ่ม 14 สิงหาคมนี้นักดนตรีฟ้าประธานนักร้องเสียงสวรรค์ซุปเปอร์เทนเสาร์นี้บ่าย 3:15 นาทีทางช่อง Workpoint
ตลก6 ฉากเสาร์นี้
คุณปลอมโอ้โหพูดจาแบบนี้ลุกเลยดีกว่าคุณกล้าลองตรงนี้ปะล่ะลองตรงนี้เลยไหมล่ะเอาก็ได้ มีความสามารถพิเศษไหมทำเสียงกบได้ครับลองดูสิเฮ้ยผมนึกภาพเลยเนี่ย
ชอบผู้หญิงแบบอินเทรนด์อะแล้วเธอเป็นคนอินเทรนด์เหมือนกันไม่อินเทรนด์ธรรมดานำเทรนด์มาแล้วค่ะมาแล้วอุ้ย
CG มันดูก่อนใครในโลกเสาร์นี้ 11 โมงครึ่ง
Tournament of the Asian Games of 2018 taking place in Galora, Sriwijaya. And the lady in the centre of your picture there has been the star of the show for me so far. Scored one, won a penalty and laid on another. And her team may be over the moon tonight because they're leading 3-0 against Maldives. But Zara Muzdalifa has certainly been the star of the show so far. Second half about to come, Indonesia versus Maldives. So the referee from Myanmar, Tain Tai Ai, gets us underway again. And, well, expect the ball to be in this half of the field most of the time, this half. There's the goal scorers for you on 10, 15 and 30 minutes, but at least the Maldives didn't concede in the last 15 minutes of the opening half. They have the ball out wide now with Taufik, but it's back onto the back foot again, and a defence-splitting pass here to the girl I've described as the star of the show, and she may lay on a fourth. The goalkeeper manages to get a hand on it. Once again, they're almost queuing up before the final shot from Rani Mulyasari is wide. But just about all the best moments of the game have been provided by Zara there. And once again, we have a player suffering. This time it's Fadwa Zahir. It's the second time she's asked for assistance. I'm not sure she'll see out the full 90 minutes, the captain of Maldives. They need her height. She's 5'5". The tallest of the outfield players, the smallest, is the number 14, Murfat Mariam. She's only 4 feet 10 inches tall. Well, this time the stretcher may be required, which is a great shame for the skipper. At least each team has 9 substitutes to summon from. And that decision may have been made already. Mohamed Atif is the head coach of the Maldives lineup today. One or two comforting gestures on the field of play, as you can see at the bottom of your screen there. For all their dominance, the goalkeeper hasn't been overworked, Lizaman Aminat. She's not taking the goal kicks, though. And this one, at least, is up towards the halfway line. Nice check-in field. But then a delivery which will only invite the opposition to pick up the ball and set another attack in motion with Adi Octafiani. Good movement off the ball here, particularly from the number 9, Mayang. She's asking for the ball again, and she might get it in a decent position, but there's a good interception. And then a scuffing pass, from which Maldives will try and make some progress. Hesitant progress, however. Just unable to keep the ball in play was the number 9, Shahula Taufik. So Indonesia have it back again in the shape of Maulina Novriliani. Kept in play by the ever-dangerous flank player for Indonesia, who are trying to find a gap in there. Headed away, not very far. Back it will come again. Seems inevitable that they'll get another goal at some stage. May well have hit her own player there as it was driven in by Zara Muzdalifa. And once again we have this familiar pattern of Maldives unable to get the ball up over the halfway line. So inevitably they're on the ropes once again. This time she decides to go on the outside just to win a throw-in. And here is the expected change in the lineup. The first substitute used by Maldives today is Afsa Fatimat, and she replaces the unfortunate skipper Zahir. Hobbling away. Getting a lot of calling for the ball, and there will be a free kick against Indonesia's Mulyasari here. And that was the moment of collision. So the free kick taken by the highly experienced defender Ibrahim Didi. Didi was a great Brazilian footballer many years ago. Ooh, I'm talking many years ago, back in the 50s, a World Cup winner. And Pele was just a boy. 5 minutes gone in the second half, no alteration to the scoreline. Much to Maldives' delight. Remember, the best they've ever done in an Asian Games match was to limit Thailand to 10 goals. At the moment, they're limiting Indonesia to just 3. Plenty of time to add, but I'm sure the Indonesians would like to get the 4th goal as quickly as possible in this half, just to set up the scenario of getting a few more. Maldives may tire a little towards the end. Well, both sides may. Not always playing on as large a pitch as this one. Once again, Indonesia monopolising the ball, trying to create openings for themselves just outside that 18-yard zone. The first touch wasn't the strongest. And the industrious number 8 there, Rani Mulyasari, is the one who gets the ball and works it all the way back to Adi Mustikiani Octafiani. Will all this probing yield a 4th goal? Not from that touch. I think the ball will be carried out dead. Goal kick. And now it's the turn of Indonesia to make a change. And, well, she got a goal today, so... And this is how she got it, largely down to Zara. And thank you very much. So it's been a successful day for her. Cianida Merifandina comes on. So one change apiece made so far. Still no great alarms at the back for Indonesia, as you would expect. They are known as Garuda Pertiwi. One or two bounces of the ball, one or two ricochets favoured Indonesia earlier in the half, in the first half. But so far in this second half, Maldives have been able to defend with relative calm. Surprising how many women's teams there are around the world now. I mentioned earlier that Indonesia are currently ranked 77th in the world. It's actually moved up 41 places in recent times. They have had a higher placing once, and they got into the top 60. The bounce of the ball there really did favour Maldives, and it's the same person who picked it up who played it forward, Shahula Tawfiq. She's one of those who'll now have to funnel back. Maulina Novriliani over the top, I think it'll go. And there is an opportunity here for Mayang, who'll lob one across. Just out of the reach of Zara. We know how good she is. Scored with a terrific header. Oh, that's number 4. And she timed the run brilliantly. It's goal number 2 for Mayang this afternoon. It's 4 now for Indonesia. They're home and dry. How many more than He's a quality player. And Mayang timed the run superbly there. And although she needs minor treatment, I'm sure that won't affect the joy that she's feeling at this moment. Here was the ball in, knocked in from very deep. And look how she timed the run there. And good technique in drilling it hard and low beyond the goalkeeper Aminat. It's 4-0 Indonesia. And 2 goals now for Mayang. And this one coming early in the second half will cause a few tremors again for Maldives as to just how many they might ultimately concede. 55 minutes played. All too easy really, but Indonesia will welcome that because that's very rare you can say that for them. There is the substitute for the Maldives team who's come on in this second half. Afsar Fatimat. Still, this is the player to catch the eye. Look at that, it's so easy for her. Round and around she goes, beyond defenders. Here's the score of the second and the fourth goals. One from the penalty, one from open play. Again, they concede the possession much too cheaply and they can't get it off her at the minute. And again we have this scenario of the Indonesian goalkeeper Novin Spoma barely ever touching the ball. Such is the difference between the two teams. And strength showing there in the shoulder charge and the winning of the free kick by Rani. Solid challenge from Shamila. And Rani will take the free kick herself. As always in any game, there are outstanding individuals. Although it's a team game, as we all know. But Indonesia have probably had the 4 or 5 best players on the pitch, including this one. The goals have been spread around, but the number 9 Mayang's got 2 of the 4, and the number 11 Zara's scored 1 and laid on 2 others. And they are the 2 who have really impressed as they look for goal number 5. Oh, beautifully taken down, and it's squeezed through, but she's going to be given offside. Muted disappointment, I would suggest here, because Zara really deserved the goal. Good technique, and the ball squirted across, and she's actually way onside there. There was a player on the far side who was playing her on. Nicely taken down, and that would have been just reward. Anyway, she's the lady who lifted the flag, and that decision is final. So it stays at 4. And a substitution for Indonesia now. Coming off will be Daniela Daphne. And her replacement will be Gisela Sari.
Substitution for Indonesia, player number 10, Daphne Daniel, replaced by player number 16, Sari Gisela Arivia.
And here is the new player, straight into the action. Let's see if she can make an impact in the next few minutes. Maldives can't retain the possession, and here she does go. She's making an impact already, and a nice check on the ball as well. Keen to make that impact. Here's another player who's impressed, the little number 8 Rani. He shows good technique. Intricate build-up this time. Shot drilled in straight into the opponent's body. Well, angled between two defenders, but it will be shepherded safely back to the goalkeeper. A bit of confusion before she eventually picks the ball up. Liz Aminat. All too easy, but we've had an hour's play, and Indonesia will settle for this 4-0 scoreline very happily. Still half an hour to run of the contest, and she really is balked off here. Her first touch wasn't the most impressive of her day, but she got the free kick, and quite rightly so, out of Hanifa Hawa. Sarah continues to pose all sorts of problems for the opposition defence. She wants the ball. She knows she's probably the most gifted player out there. She might feel a little aggrieved. If she'd have seen the replay, she certainly would have been, of the disallowed goal. She certainly deserved a couple today. She's one of the taller players. She's up there now. Here's a header from the substitute, and that is a goal, and it is an impact made. Well, straight away, she's come on as Gisela Arifiasari and scored within minutes, right on the hour mark, and it's goal number 5 for Indonesia. It's getting better and better. Gisela Sari. And she celebrates as she has a right to do. I said she might make an impact, and this is how she's made the impact. A glancing header, firm enough to beat the keeper. 5-0 Indonesia. On the hour mark. Well, it's an impressive scoreline with 61 minutes played. And away go the Maldives. Well, they've had 1 or 2 spirited runs just like this one. It's trying to get something on the end of it, and as she loops the ball across there, it's easily picked up by Norfin's Boma. Well, the game could just drift on now. 5-0, and that Maldives record, hate me for reminding everybody, we'll just see what happens here. Well, they've managed to clatter the ball away, but it does mean now that Maldives, who conceded 38 times 4 years ago, have now conceded 43 times without registering a single goal. But they've only got to play out another 27 today. 27 minutes. Could be tortuous. And this ball will be kept in play, and there's ample time for a decent cross in here to set up a 6th. But well done, spirited defending here. And she's really overstretched in conceding that corner kick as Mahin Eshath. Pull your socks up, that's the idea. Remember, 5-0 is still the best that they've ever done, unless it gets a whole sight worse in the next 27 minutes. Oh, it won't from that. That's always disappointing. And the ball played directly out. Well, there's Gisela. Lovely moment for her, this. There's the ball looped in, and she wasn't the first to challenge for it. That's the goal scored hitherto by Mayang. And then this is her moment. Just climbing in above the defender Ibrahim Didi. And the 16-year-old defender has her first international goal. 5-0 with just over 25 minutes left. And we've seen so little of the attack of Maldives that it means we've seen very little of some of the defenders on the Indonesia side as well. They've barely had a touch of the ball. Here does go Ika Kartini, the right-sided defender, though. She's been able to get into some good advanced positions throughout the course of the game. And does so again. All very nice and neat. That's a chance of number 6 here. Will she overrun it? Will it be a goal kick? Will it be a corner kick? It will be the latter. Well, I've used the word impact a couple of times already. She looks businesslike, doesn't she, Gisela Sari? And she's certainly been that. The other substitute, of course, who came on was Sienda Merifandina. I'm sure she'd like to make an impact as well, but the corner will be taken by Mayang. Looking for a 6th goal here, Indonesia. Swerving ball in. And not as successful with this header as she was with her previous one. But she's really businesslike. She's been involved in everything since she came onto the field of play. She's desperate to be involved in the action wherever it is on the field of play. Well, Indonesia's coach has set them up for this game. He'll know that the tougher matches are still to come without question. Up next will be Chinese Taipei. And then Indonesia face Korea, and that really is a tough one. This is Group A, by the way, of the women's competition. And Maldives are nicely inside the opposition half for once. But they're still unable to create anything fruitful. And back they go again. It's quite repetitive. Sorry about that. Oh, here's a stirring touch, a lovely piece of football. How well she's done. That's got to be a goal kick ultimately. But Gisela, again, is really impressing in this substitute role. She looks a formidable opponent. Just 16, Gisela Arifia Sari. She's bursted onto the scene here. In less than 10 minutes, she's scored once. She's had another header just wide. And she has been probably the dominant figure. Whereas earlier in the match, it was definitely Zara number 11 and Mayang number 9 who were catching the eye. She's got the ball again. An irresistible force at the moment. Mayang. Mayang's on a hat-trick, remember. Bit of hesitancy here. They could yet be punished because this is the player with all the skills. A rather haphazard cross, however. Comfortably dealt with by the Maldives defence. Must be really hard to know that you've just got to defend throughout 90 minutes. Rarely going to get an opportunity to score a goal yourself. And there will be colossal celebrations back in the Maldives if ever they do get their first goal in the Asian Games. Indonesia would like a 6th goal before too long. We're not far off the 70-minute mark, which will leave them 20 minutes in which to get that 6th. It should be plenty of time, but we shall see. There are several Indonesian players who would deserve to get on the score sheet today. Here's one of the players I told you we've seen very little of, Vivi Rizky. The angle ball is met this time by the substitute on the Maldives side, but almost dropped once again for Sari. Good defending this time from Ibrahim Didi. It's been such a comfortable afternoon for these back two. This is Ade on the ball now, Ade Octaviani. And then Septiawati. Where's this going to go? It's going to end at the boot of the number 9, who's been so prominent in this Indonesian victory. I think we can say that quite safely. Corner kick for them. Hard work, as you can see, for the likes of Zahir Aminat. So once again a corner kick for the host nation in these Asian Games, and plenty forward for it. There's just no outlet for Maldives at all. Well, everybody's joining in now, it would seem. Allowing the ball to run out, however, and an offside flag in any event. Well, what do you do when your team is trailing by 5 goals? You've lost your captain, injured. But they've only 19 minutes to sustain now. And they have a one-on-one situation. Trouble is, she's got no support whatsoever. And this should be the goalkeeper's ball. No great alarm, but we just got it away in the nick of time. That's probably the most active we've seen in North Innsbruck today. All about creating spaces now, creating chances, and that's lovely interplay down that right flank. There's only one across in the middle as yet, and here is that one coming now for the header. It's in, and she's got her second goal, and how well she deserves it. They've both been headers. Lovely cross ball in from Mayang, and inevitably on the back end of it was Zakara. And Zahra Muzdalifa has her second goal, and Indonesia do have 6 on the day. She's had a quiet little quarter of an hour, but she's not quiet anymore. And these are the 2 players who have been utterly outstanding. She gets in between the 2 defenders, cushions the header down, and it's the same combination, Mayang and Zahra, which take Indonesia 6 goals clear. Still with time to add. And she, well, it's all in a day's work. Very calm about it. She is a very talented player, as she's proved. Those were the first 3 goal scorers in the first half an hour. And inside 72 minutes, Indonesia, they've increased that tally to half a dozen. The Maldives will be very, very tired, very exhausted. They've got a free kick inside the opposition half. Now let's see what they do with this. Will they bring everybody forward? The player who won that free kick was Shamila Aminat. Just 24 years of age. A forward, it must be very difficult being a forward in this Maldives side. They don't get many opportunities. But she'll hope to get on the end of the free kick to be taken by Sanfa Ibrahim Didi now. It shows where she's going to hit it. And almost inevitably, it is those in red who emerge with the ball. And here goes Zahra once again. Slipped right. Merafianda, and that ball will be kept in play. We all know what can happen there. She's closing in on the net. Corner kick. Excellent skills from Mayang. She looks for all the world as though she may get the goal herself here. One touch there, two touches here. A break of fortune, but then there are just enough bodies around, and the corner conceded by Ibrahim Didi. Mayang takes all the corners as well. Only, 4 or 5 Indonesians in there. They'll get another chance. This one is put out by Murthaf Mariam. One of 2 Mariams in the starting lineup. Rifa, the number 8, being the other. And again, the same 5 players are up here for this one. Could be a long-range shot. 20 yards out. Mayang stayed wide. Drills one across here. Behind the net. A bit of a relief for the Maldives. I'll repeat that wonderful nickname, the Daughters of the Waves. Well, we've had waves and waves of attack. The last one there, ending with that goal. 2 goals and 2 headers from Zara Muzdalifa. So she's only 17. Time very much on her side to make an impact in the women's game. Usually everybody wants the ball when it's 6-0. You sense there might be a goal in the offing for you. Ooh, that will be a free kick. A rather rugged challenge on Gisela Sari. That was a good old-fashioned barge in the back from Shamila Aminat. Possibly the wrong player to do that to. 14 minutes on the clock. The ball is placed. Are we about to see an exquisite free kick? Maybe a hat-trick. Lisa Aminat poised. But is she prepared for what's about to come? Six goals in the bag. Easily claimed ultimately by Lisa Aminat. Well, she was going for the hat-trick, and at least she got it in range. They're just so much stronger, the Indonesians. But having said that, is a strong forward run from Shamila Aminat. Now the resourceful Tiadati Septiawati. Talking of resourceful, it continues to be a good move. And when it's in the air, it might just be a problem for the Maldives. They struggle in that department. Less than quarter of an hour to go. And they're still on track for their best ever Asian Games result. 6-0 will seem a positive achievement after 10-0 and 15-0 and 13-0. Indonesia might not declare on 6 though. Quite sure what the population of Maldives is, but I don't suspect they have too many players to choose from. And it's a new sport for the country. Well, at least they've got away with a tackle there. And tried to make advancement. Excellent play. Lovely. Weaved her way through. And just not able to supply the pass on the end of it, having done all the hard work. There's such an inevitability about the consequences of games like this one. I'm sure some of the players find it hard to retain concentration. But she has definitely been one of the stars of the show. And that's resourcefulness from Murphath Mariam. Away goes Ika Kartini. Gets a spinning rebound. Just over 10 minutes remaining. 3 points very handily picked up for Indonesia. They'll go top of the group because Korea Republic only won their match earlier today against Chinese Taipei by 2-1. So courtesy of these 6 goals and the difference therefore, it will be Indonesia we see at the top of the group standings when we leave you with the group table. In a little over 10 minutes time, the end of the day's action. Plenty to come in these Asian Games of 2018, so proudly hosted by Indonesia. On the ball this time is Maulinia Novriliani. All about creating spaces now, and trying to find the gaps. A rather tired clearance. Just gifting the ball back to Vivi Rizky. Well, options here. She can slip it inside as she does. It could go wide again. Comes back and just knocked down back into the path of the excellent substitute that we've seen, Gisela Sari. It really has been an almighty struggle for Maldives, but that will be a goal kick. And the latest switch is by Indonesia with Tugiati coming on in place of Novriliani. Tugiati here. Striker. And at the age of 33, I'm sure she's keen to add to her collection of international goals. Well, the pressure is relentless from Indonesia. They've got 6 and now want to make it 7. Had a lot of the ball, as you would have expected. Grown in confidence as the game has gone along. And of course, they've scored 3 times in each half so far. 8 minutes to add to that, plus added time. Can she get goal side here, and can she supply a cross? That's the question. Well, there will be a cross. Not very effective in the clearing department. They just find one another better than the opposition. And they are better, there's no question about that. Another driving run from the edge of the 18-yard area. Well, they've not succumbed. Everybody wants a touch of the ball, and the latest to get one is the number 5 there, who's worked really hard, Septiwati. So is the number 8, Rani Mulyasari. Real little midfield dynamo, as is footballing vernacular. Funny how certain phrases suit football, not other sports in particular. Sort of tip-tap football at the moment as well. Maldives seem to be limited in the options on the bench. They've just brought on Fatimat in place of the captain Zahir, who got injured. Otherwise, they seem to be sticking with those of them who've been out there, performing in the colours of their nation from the start. Now here is the deep-lying Mayang. She's also on a hat-trick, of course. 2 players out there on hat-tricks. Oh, nicely done. Too easy. Flashes through. Still not going out, and it is now for a corner kick. Rather unfortunately, off Hanifa Hawa. So can they find a 7th goal in these closing 5 minutes? I think that's the only question that has to be answered now about Indonesia's performance. And the corner to be taken by Mayang, a short one, but then she hits it across. Oof, that could have gone anywhere. That could have led to an own goal. Anyway, she took up her station by the near post and managed to guide it round it. Probably hit it longer this time. Well, it is longer, but it's still a thoughtful one. Wriggling around the challenge, shooting wide. Well, Rani would have deserved a goal, I think. She's been very energetic as the hub of the side. And he must be pleased with the 6 goals they've plundered. Looking at his watch to see if there's time to get another one. Or 2. And Maldives will be happy to slow it down. And the player who takes their goal kicks is Zahir Aminat. The goalkeeper doesn't. But they'll soon be shaking hands. And both will know that they have very difficult tasks to come in the remainder of the tournament. 10, 15 and 30 the minutes. The goals came in the first half. 55, 61 and 72 in the second. So a bit of symmetry there. But it looks like being the first occasion that Maldives will come out of an Asian Games match without conceding at least 10. Which is some statistics to celebrate. Unable to retain the possession, they put themselves on the back foot again, and the substitute who's really impressed here is Gisela Sari, and she's figured in this move, which continues here and may continue all the way to a 7th goal, but it's a corner. I found it interesting, though, that the Maldives coach has decided only to make that 1 substitution in the second half. You'd have thought he might have given a run out to a couple of others. Perfect opportunity. Corner is from Tugiyati. And, headed away from just in front of the line. Otherwise, there'd have been even further symmetry about the occasion, because it would have been a 2nd goal for Gisela Sari to go with 2 for Zara Muzdalifa and 2 for Mayang. Hit it well, didn't she? And the girl who headed it away is still feeling the effects of that, Hanifa Hawa, but she did her job well. Slightly stunned, I would think. And that could have gone anywhere. To Maldives' relief, it came to their player. Still it hasn't got out. Well, it looks as though Indonesia are going to have to settle for 6. And if you'd have said that before kick-off, they'd have probably taken it. 3 points, the most important thing. Still trying to contrive a position for a shot. A very tired clearance and another long-range try. And again, she can't get the range right. Rani Mulyasari. Yeah, I think she almost concussed, actually, by the ball hitting her on the head as she cleared it. And I've just been talking about potential substitutions for Maldives, and a proud moment for Rafa Safiya, who is going to come on as a replacement for Mahin Eshaf. So very late in the day for Sofia to trot on for a belated appearance here for her country. 45 seconds, plus a bit of added time. Better late than never. But certainly Indonesia will settle for the 6 goals and say that they've managed to plunder on this day. The ball is pulled back in here. It's a good job it didn't reach the number 11, Zara. I think she might have dispatched it into the net to put a gloss on the proceedings. But 6 goals is good enough. And still we have to reflect on the fact that Novin Sboma, the goalkeeper of Indonesia, has not had a single save to make. Probably had about 4 touches of the ball, I would think, no more. And there will be 3 more minutes added on. Most of that time will probably be spent in the Maldives half. Starting now, the race on here. This could be number 7 if she's got the strength to go all the way. It's off the inside of the upright. So the player who is denied is Mary Fandina. What a shame. She did everything right. She would have been a second substitute with a name on the score sheet. The ball is perfectly laid through the centre. She manages to hold off the 2 defenders, slips it beyond the keeper, and just the ill fortune that it struck the upright. Cianida, Mary Fandina, unlucky. And then it's safely hacked away by Hawa, who's just had treatment. She did well to clear that one. And this time will be added on. Well, it was a brave defending, actually. Remember, she'd just almost been knocked out by one effort. There, she managed to head the ball off the line. She tottered backwards and almost collapsed. And she feels the full force of another challenge. But you can say nothing but well done for the resolution of the defending by Hanifa Hawa. It's almost time for the final whistle. She's very much in the picture, if not very much in control of her senses right now. I really felt the full force of the last 5 minutes in a game of football and what it can do to you. And I would doubt that we'll see her play any further part in the game. It matters not. There's officially only a minute left of the added time, but the referee may add on 1 more minute as a result of that hesitation or the injury. She's very groggy. And there's another star of the piece, Mayang. Excellent. Scored with a penalty in the first half, emphatically driven into the net. Scored again, and well, we are getting late substitutions here. And that is because Hawa is off the field of play and Ahmed Zubair comes on. Even less time to shine than the previous substitute. And the game ends as it started and has continued, really. Once again with this excellent substitute playing a prominent role. I've really been impressed by the actions of Gisela Sari. But it is all over. The referee decides that the punishment is too much for Maldives to take any further. And so it's resulted in 3 points, 3 very easy points indeed for Indonesia. The star of the show was that player there for me. Zara Musdalifa got 2 of the goals. Here was the substitute who also figured on the score sheet, Gisela Sari, and there were 2 for Mayang as well. But it's a job well done, and it's 3 well-earned points. Well, the only consolation that can be taken from Maldives is that it is their best result ever in Asian Games history. Their 3 previous defeats had all been by double-figure margins. Today they've managed to keep it down to 6. Hope springs eternal as they move on to their next game, which will be against Korea Republic. You can only wish them well. He's smiling. They're still smiling. That's good to see. Everybody's smiling, including the little ones who've enjoyed their day out here in Gelora, Sriwijaya. Hello. A deserted stadium now. Indonesia expected to win this one, and they have done. 6-0. This is the women's first round of the Asian Games competition. These are the statistics of that match, with Indonesia having 15 corners to none for Maldives. Their possession 71% to 29. And no yellow or red cards shown. So it's a job well done for the Indonesians, and they got off to the perfect start with that headed goal from Zara Muzdalifa. And it just went on from there, really. 2 more goals in the first half, the first coming from the penalty spot after the same player had been fouled, and up stepped Mayang to make it 2. And then once again Zara involved in a mazy dribble into the penalty area, and her shot parried into the path of number 7 Helena Sada, who couldn't miss. 3-0 at half time. And then the game took on a similar feel in the second half, with Mayang getting her second, Zara Muzdalifa her second, and then the final of the 6 goals headed by the substitute Sari. A perfect day for the Indonesian women. Goals aplenty, around half dozen to celebrate tonight. So this is the way it looks at the end of the first day's action in Group A. Indonesia go top, courtesy of those 6 goals. They're 3 points matched by Republic of Korea. They won by 2 goals to 1 against Chinese Taipei. The Maldives, as expected, are bottom of the table. Sterner tests to come. I hope you'll enjoy them with us. But for now, it's goodbye from Indonesia.
AIS Play ความบันเทิงระดับโลกทุกที่ทุกเวลา
ส่งต่อความมั่นใจสู้ไปด้วยกันนะครับ